What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for All Out review for August 31st, 2019. The biggest pay-per-view of AEW's short tenure. Double or Nothing was the launching pad. This was the jet fuel to get them into the stratosphere. Did it deliver? Was it a better show than Double or Nothing? Did it deliver everything we expected? Before we get into the show, though, I need to talk about something. Because it's time to call it quits on predicting CM Punk to AEW. They were in Chicago. CM Punk was at StarCast, I think, either earlier today or yesterday. CM Punk is not coming to AEW. It is time to let it go. This was the people say this was the perfect spot. In my opinion, it would have been TNT because that would be the big reveal that boom, he's the big star to show up on the first episode. We don't need it. It is not going to happen. The dude, even at his interview or his sit-down interview, said, "I don't miss wrestling. People need to leave it alone." I would sit there and I wanted to comment on something that CM Punk would say about hockey or something else, and you'd go and you look down on these comments and people would just take the letter AEW if they were in that order somewhere in his comments and be like, "Oh my god, CM Punk to AEW confirmed." Enough of it. CM Punk is done with wrestling. He is an MMA commentator. He's doing movies now. It is time to let everything go about CM Punk in wrestling. Enough. We don't fucking need him. AEW is doing fine without CM Punk. They don't need him. They never needed him. And quite honestly, it's an insult to AEW for people that still continue to try and predict that he's going to show up in AEW. It's just an insult, and it needs to go away. CM Punk is not coming to AEW. This was the night to do it. It didn't happen. Let it fucking go. I am tired of it, and I don't want to hear or see. I don't want to see a YouTube video pointing out that, oh, CM Punk's coming to AEW. I don't want to see on Twitter or any comment that CM Punk's coming to AEW. This was the night. It didn't happen. Let it go. Okay? Alright. Let's talk about the first match of the show, which was on the buy-in, and that was for this beautiful championship belt. The first woman to win this match would be going for this championship on Wednesday, October 2nd. Look at that championship. Look at it. Isn't that a thing of beauty? AEW gave us a Casino Battle Royal number 2. Leva Bates, Fabi Apache, Priscilla Kelly, Nyla Rose, and Shalandra Royal are your first 5 for this match. Everyone gets eliminated pretty much from the first match, except for Nyla Rose. Penelope Ford, Shazza McKenzie, Sadie Gibbs, Big Swole, and Britt Baker come out next. Ford gets eliminated immediately by Nyla Rose, leaping off the top rope, back handspring elbow into Rose. Big Swole clocks her with a discus forearm. Shazza drops her and then kicks her in the back of the head by Baker. Gibbs and Rose battling in the corner. Baker nearly gets stumped out, but is able to reverse McKenzie and sends her out of the ring. Rose with a double chokeslam, but Big Swole is able to drop her, crowd with a Big Swole chant. Rose dumps her on the apron. Uranagi sends her out of the match. Ford then gets dumped out of the match. The next 5 was Ivelisse, Bree Priestley, Brandy Rose, Awesome Kong, and Impact Wrestling's own Tennille Dashwood. There was a rumor going around that we might see Tessa Blanchard and Tennille Dashwood in this show. And they are with Impact. Impact worked with AEW for that to happen. It gets eyeballs on somebody who works for Impact Wrestling. And yes, at Double or Nothing, Brian Cage was backstage and was supposed to be a guy in the 21-man Battle Royal to see who would go on to face the winner, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, tonight. That didn't happen because Impact Wrestling got wind of it And it's not because Impact Wrestling didn't want Brian Cage to be out there. It's because Brian Cage at the time, and still is I think right now, the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. They didn't want the World Heavyweight Champion to go into a Battle Royal and just get dumped out willy-nilly like it didn't fucking matter. So they put a stop to that. If Brian Cage would have not been the World Heavyweight Champion at the time of Double or Nothing, they would have been, oh, fine, go right ahead. It would have got more eyes on them. Brian Cage is part of Impact Wrestling, yada yada. Tenille Dashwood is not the Impact Knockout Champion and has barely started working with Impact Wrestling. I think her first set of tapings was the Mexico tapings they did last week or the week before that. So they don't have a big problem. They didn't have as big of a problem with Tenille Dashwood in the Battle Royal that they would have had with Brian Cage, because Cage was champion at the time of Double or Nothing, and Tenille's not. Tenille's just another woman on the knockouts in the knockouts division right now. But immediately, before Priestley can even get to the ring, Britt Baker runs out of the ring, goes right after her, and just starts beating the hell out of her, getting payback and giving that receipt for the concussion that B. Priestley gave her at Fight for the Fallen. If you remember that match on the buy-in there, B. Priestley gave her a kick, and she knocked Britt Baker clean out and gave her a massive concussion. Let's see. Ivelisse with a Hurricane Rana on Gibbs. Dashwood with a double underhook suplex, and Ivelisse into Gibbs. In the corner, Dashwood with a running crossbody on both of them. Rose is directs Awesome Kong, who drops Ivelisse with ease. Gibbs with a drop kick to Kong back, and she crashes into Brandy. Everyone teams up with Kong while Rose focuses on Brandy. Brandy hits a punch, but no luck. Brandy then avoids Rose and hits a stunner. Kong uses Ivelisse to send Dashwood out of the match. Crowd boos at this time, and then Ivelisse eats a back fist to get knocked out of the match. I was looking at that, and I didn't realize it was Ivelisse for a minute, but I saw the red hair, and I'm like, is that Eva Marie? Did they really bring Eva Marie in for this match? Because I think that would have been just so bad. But no, it was Ivelisse. Allie, Nicole Savoy, Tail Piper, ODB, and Jazz are your final suit before we get to the 25th and the 21st entrant. And I was shocked who they got for the 21st entrant. Ali goes after Brandy. Savoy hits a big suicide dive on a number of people who are still making their way to the ring. ODB with the flask in hand. Piper with a poke in the eye and goes for a sleeper on ODB. Savoy is dumped out of the ring by Rose. Kong eliminates Piper, which I thought I saw Piper go through the middle and top rope. So I was like watching the end of this match, and I'm like, are they really going to do this? Are they really going to give heel Piper? Because I thought she went through the middle and bottom rope, and I thought they were going to do the person goes to the middle or goes through the middle or bottom rope, sleeps on the outside, comes in and wins by eliminating somebody. Thank God that didn't happen. I thought that's what was happening, because I swear heel went through the middle and top rope, not through over the top rope. Which, by the way, she didn't do anything special. I mean, it is a Battle Royal, so she really didn't get to do much. Savoy is dumped on the outside. Kong eliminates Piper. Still, lots of people in this one as Rose and Kong each go at each other in the ring. Jazz enters into the brawl, as it was ODB, Nyla Rose, Kong, and Jazz face to face, all sizing each other up. ODB chants from the crowd. Awesome Kong and Jazz get eliminated. Brandy is eliminated as well. Then, the person who drew the Joker card, I was shocked at this one. It was two-time participant in the Mae Young Classic, Mercedes Martinez. Holy shit, the crowd went ballistic. You haven't seen Mercedes Martinez come out. Hits a spinebuster on Allie, which, by the way, Allie is no longer a dark-haired woman. She went back to blonde, so... Release overhead suplex, German suplex on Gibbs, and Martinez with a curb stomp on Priestley. Hits a Saito suplex on Rose. Rose gets rid of Allie. Rose, Priestley, Gibbs, Martinez, and Baker remain in the match. Gibbs nearly gets sent out, skins the cat, and then gets dumped out anyway. Down the floor, sling blade by Baker on Priestley. Priestley tries for a Hurricane Rana on Rose. Eats a powerbomb instead. Baker and Martinez attempt to send out Rose. Priestley saves Rose and tries to get rid of the other two, but Baker with a side super kick to send out Martinez down to Rose, Baker, and Priestley. Super kick to Rose, knee strike by Priestley. They try to send her out, but she hangs on. Rose with a cartwheel kick as Priestley tries to run and hit her with something on the apron to give her a window to go back into the ring. Rose with a splash in the corner on both women. Baker hits a Canadian Destroyer on Priestley, giving her, again, that receipt for what happened at Fight for the Fallen. Baker hit with a second rope suplex on Rose. Baker with a forearm to Priestley, eats a running knee strike. Priestley on the apron, spits at Baker and eats a forearm, falling to the floor. Priestley grabs Baker's arm. Rose goes over and dumps her over. Rose is your winner. She will be one half of the women's championship match on October 2nd for that championship right there. I'm just going to be honest right here. I think the Battle Royal, the Casino Battle Royal, needs to stop. Neither one of them have been great. The men's was not good. The women's was not good. The Battle Royal they did at All In last year was absolutely fucking fantastic. It was awesome. It was fun. Neither one of these Battle Royals have been fun. They've been sloppy. They've been just terrible. Honestly, it's either do a full-fledged Battle Royal or just give me a what do I want to say? Give me a Royal Rumble type thing. Don't do this. This was just no thank you. This was just not a good match at all. Speaking of good matches, we had a lot of tag team matches on this. Private Party, Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy versus Jack Evans and Helico. These motherfuckers are so over. Private Party, before the match even started, and they got their entrance, like Jack Evans and then Helico were making their entrance, and all you hear is a Private Party chant. These guys are so over. They are more over than the Revival, the New Day, the Usos, the AOP, the Viking Raiders, or any other tag team on WWE's main roster combined. Outside of Luchasaurus and I believe Cody in this show, these guys got the biggest pop of the night, and this was the very second match of the show. Cassidy and Angelico got this match started. I gotta say, Mark Quinn wrestling in his sunglasses for a majority of for a good portion of a match is just a thing to see. He is definitely an interesting fella. Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, both from House of Glory. Definitely a great pickup by All Out. By the way, we would have a debuting tag team during the Escalera de la Muerta tag team ladder match later on in the show. We'll get to that later. These teams back and forth against each other. Can't really play this one, but Private Party ends up winning this after a Pele kick. Evan eats two poison ranas, one off the top rope by, I believe, Mark Quinn. Definitely was something very scary because Quinn went up to do it's a reverse rana, but they call it a poison rana. He went up to do it, and he didn't get it right on Jack Evans. So Isaiah Cassidy hit another one. Quinn then hits a Hurricane Rana straight into a cut into they call it the gin and it's the juice and gin, I think is what they call it, the juice and gin, which is the Hurricane Rana into a cutter for the 1-2-3. Private Party wins this match. Excellent match between both of these two teams. After the match, Angelico and Jack Evans attack the Private Party, taking them down. Crowd with a huge Party Poopers chant. So, in this show, you had Party Poopers, Cowboy Shit, and a couple other ones that I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah. You had some chants in this show tonight that it was like, I never thought I'd hear that actually get over. You also had Stupid Idiot also chanted during the World Heavyweight title match later on in the main event, which I didn't think I'd hear in 2019 because he stopped doing Stupid Idiot after he left WWE. That was the end. We had, of course, they had this vignette for a guy named Wardlow. I've never heard of Wardlow before. I don't know who the hell he was. It was a vignette of him and his lady walking you had a bunch of look like thugs walk up behind them. He takes his shirt off. He looks like he's been, like, someone bit him or something on his shoulder. And then in slow motion, like, he beats the hell out of every one of these guys. They do a full face up to him, and then it comes up Wardlow, Wardlow. Never heard of him, never seen him before. If you know who Wardlow is, let me know in the comment section below, because that was definitely, it's great. That's how you get people interested in somebody. I've never heard of Wardlow, and I'm interested to see what this guy's going to do, who he is, because he goes, we see this video package, he kicks these guys' ass, and that's that. Going to be interesting to see what we get from Wardlow. Backstage, MJF is with Jen Decker. Initially, she's just checking her out, which she asked him a question about why he doesn't have a match tonight, and he was just, staring at the boobs, as usual. He mentions how he doesn't have a match tonight, but he didn't want a match. He wants to be in Cody's corner for his match against Shawn Spears to make sure Cody wins, because all he's focused on since Fight for the Fallen, really, was making sure that Cody Rhodes or Fight Fest, really, but Fight for the Fallen, because he had a match with him, that Cody gets to kick Shawn Spears' ass. Jen Decker asks, well, what if he doesn't ask you to be, what if he doesn't choose you as his one out there? Of course, MJF laughs about it. Now, I didn't notice at the time, but MJF was wearing a black bottom with a black shirt with yellow on the top of it, with a Nightmare Family logo on the chest. I didn't realize at the time what it was, but it's better. It plays into the Cody Rhodes entrance for this show. Joe heads up the commentary. They hype up the rest of the show, and then we go into Luchasaurus and the Jurassic Express. They are a small boy, a boy, and his dinosaur, and the dinosaur. They came up with the title card, and it said Jurassic Express. I thought that was absolutely awesome. Love the name Jurassic Express. That's the name they need to go through from now on. Marco Stunt, of course, was in this match as well. I love this match. Luchasaurus is the most over guy, one of the most over guys in the entire company. I can honestly see him maybe when the Luchasaurus Jungle Boy shtick ends, that maybe him as Luchasaurus could be a major maybe a heel champion in AEW, a singles champion, but it's going to be interesting to see. I know there's some criticism from the hiring Marco Stunt. When I remember Marco Stunt got his contract on his birthday, put it out on Twitter, and some jackass who I've never heard of tore it to shreds that he's dreamed all his life, or since he was a child, to be a wrestler, and he worked his ass off and everything. And what happens? One of the big companies goes out there and signs Marco Stunt instead of me. Matt, like one of the Young Bucks, like just with the best comeback, is like, Marco, you earn this. You're better than that person's name. That person. And I was like, that's awesome. He said it better than I did, but yeah. But Marco Stunt, he held his own in this match against SCU. Definitely a great match here. A good match here. Let's see here. Marco Stunt got like lots of back and forth action. SCU ends up on the floor. Stunt with a suicide dive. Jungle Boy dives over, and then Luchasaurus hits a step up flip over the top rope. Holy shit, Luchasaurus just showing you how athletic this guy can be. This guy is, he's tall. I'm 6'1". I'm about 6'1". This guy is like taller than me. Flying around like he is 5'8", 200 pounds soaking wet. This dude has got the hops. I don't know what else to tell you, but Luchasaurus is a guy who is going to be a major star of this company for years to come. Luchasaurus tagged in, beats up all three members after Jungle Boy takes a beat down for a bit. Corey Cake dodges all three members with a roll through, a kip up, and it's just crazy. Kick to Daniels, kick to Kazarian, choke slam on on Scorpio Sky, choke slam on Kazarian, standing moonsault, gets a cover of 2. Crowd is in love with Luchasaurus. chanting his name. Stunt gets a double assisted Hurricane Rana on Kazarian. Definitely, that was really interesting because Moko Stunt gets flipped backwards by Luchasaurus. He's holding on to Kazarian. Jungle Boy runs around and spins him around so he can get the Hurricane Runner off. Kazarian and Scorpius Sky with a flip over the top rope on Luchasaurus. Kazarian holds down both Stunt and Jungle Boy in a power driver position. Daniels hit the best moonsault ever on Kazarian. Drops down. Cover 1, 2, 3. STU are your winners of this match. A thing I had to say about this match was that the majority of the match, when Jungle Boy was in the match, you had JR for some reason calling him Jungle Jack Perry. I'm like, that's not his ring name. His name is Jungle Boy. Yes, his real name, his shoot name is Jack Perry. He's Luke Perry's son, but he's not Jungle Jack Perry. He's Jungle Boy. I don't know what was up with JR tonight, but he was calling him that all the time. Post match, SCU shakes their hands and pretty much puts them over with just shaking their hands, raising their arms. I believe Kazarian pointed to them and said something that I couldn't hear. But yeah, SCU earned their respects tonight. This was a shocker here, though. The second match of the show is Kenny Omega versus Pac. I'm sitting here and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Why is this match happening already? I figured this was going to be... I figured the reason they put this on second is because of the fact that there really wasn't any build to it. It's not their fault. It's just because, somebody went down with an injury with the MRSA virus, and there's nothing you can do. Also, during this match, if you noticed, during the entrances, there was when they had their title card come up, off to the side was their win-loss record. It had two sections. I couldn't read what the two sections, the two win-loss records were because it was too fuzzy or too small or something. I don't know exactly what it was. Of course, Pac was at 0-0 on both of them. Kenny Omega was 1-2 or 2, 1-1 on one and 1-2 on another, I believe. I can't remember what. I don't know what they said actually. But Omega early taunting on Pac, who returns the favor shortly after. Pac gets shoved by Omega. We get a 205 chant to Pac on this match. So I'm pretty sure Pac was not happy about that. Of course, his last run in WWE after he came back from an ankle injury was to be the king of the cruiserweights and was just stuck in cruiserweight purgatory for 7 or 8 months before he said, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm going home. He went home, and yes, he left in 2017, but did not get back to wrestling until a week or so to the day after a year and a week later after he left. So he's been wrestling for about a year now, again. But this match went all over the ringside area. These two beat the hell out of each other. V-triggers get blocked. 450 for nothing. Pac ends up winning this match with Pac goes one-winged angel. Pac turns it into a brutalizer submission. Omega's falling over, and I'm thinking what you would usually think. He's falling over. He's getting woozy. You figure he's gonna power out of it, pop him back up, one-winged angel, 1, 2, 3. No. Pac gets him down. He falls over. Referee stops the match. Pac beat him by referee stoppage. Kenny Omega in singles matches is 1-3 in AEW. Wow. But referee stoppage for Pac and Kenny Omega. Hell of a match. Pac starts off strong. Now, there was a post game show which was absolutely a letdown because you had Hangman Page come up to a bunch of reporters, try to talk, but Pac came into his interview or his speaking time and said, we have some unfinished business to take with, and I'm going to tell you all the reason I really came back to AEW. Revenge, he had a water bottle in his hand and he threw it at Hangman. So it looks like Pac versus Hangman is still going to happen. Maybe at the November pay-per-view, because we are going to have the final pay-per-view of this year in November. We'll talk about that in a bit. But Pac is your winner. Then we had the Cracker Barrel Clash. This was absolutely brutality. This was absolute brutality. This was absolutely crazy. You had 3 of the sickest motherfuckers in this entire company under one roof in one match. Triple threat match. Anything goes. You might as well have just called it a hardcore match, because that's what this turned out to be. You had, because it was the Cracker Barrel Clash, sponsored by Cracker Barrel, there were 2 actual Cracker Barrels, barrels labeled the 50th anniversary of Cracker Barrel. The one closest to the ring had a tray of Cracker Barrel biscuits. Yeah, those got wasted, and that kind of makes me sad, because Cracker Barrel biscuits are fucking awesome. Anyway, we had thumbtacks thrown into Jimmy Havoc's mouth, taped closed. He got taped to a chair, which eventually got out and took a senton from Darby Allin through the chair. You had a skateboard with thumbtacks secured to the bottom of him, drilled into Joey Janela's back. Ugh. You had Darby Allin take a coffin drop off of the top rope with a Cracker Barrel. Now, the 2 Cracker Barrels, there was one that had no bottom, so that was the one Darby Allin used, and there was the other one that did have a bottom that was a little bit heavier because of that. Well, he took the one without the bottom on it and went to do the coffin drop onto Jimmy Havoc on the steps, and Jimmy Havoc, of course, moved, and that was it for Darby Allin for the match. These guys were just absolutely fucking disgusting. The very first thing that happens is Jimmy Havoc goes out. He flips them both off, runs out of the ring, grabs a table, grabs a bunch of chairs, and then grabs a staple gun. What does Jimmy Havoc do with a staple gun at the beginning of a match? Oh, I'm just going to staple myself 2 times and tell them to come at me. Yes, Jimmy Havoc is a sick fuck. Yes, we got to use sick fuck chant, which I knew it was going to happen. Janela pulls out a tennis racket, chucks it away, a jab at Cornette, ha ha ha. Pulls out the table, sets it to the floor, and Havoc finally rips the tape off his mouth. Takes the tack out and throws it at Janela. Oh, man, this match just Havoc shooting staples at Allin and gets thrown into his steps again. Allin sets the stairs up for a new position, puts Havoc down on them. Allin goes and grabs a barrel, goes up top and hits the coffin drop, but nobody was home. That took him out of the match. Back in the ring, Janela drops Havoc, hits an elbow drop off the top rope. Another barrel in the ring. This one has the bottom secured on it, so this one was going to hurt a little bit more. Janela hits an elbow drop off the top rope, but Havoc stops Janela on the top rope and hits a superplex, but Janela's leg only hits the barrel. So Jimmy Havoc picks him up, hits the acid rainmaker, sending him fully through the barrel. 1, 2, 3. I called this one. I predicted this one right in my predictions. Go check that out on the channel. I predicted Jimmy Havoc was going to win this. I figured if he was going to pin anybody, it was going to be Joey Janela. You don't want to kind of have Darby Allin take a pinfall after his match with Cody, and then of course getting pinned by Shawn Spears. So Jimmy Havoc for me felt like the guy to win this match. Again, I thought when it came to the end of the night, this was going to be the bloodiest and brutalest match of the show. It was the second most brutal match when it came to overall, because yes, the ladder match was pretty brutal as well. But this was by far not even close to the bloodiest match of the show, and we'll talk about that later when we get to the main event. But next up, we had a first round bye up to grabs in the Dark Order versus the Best Friends. This match went just about as you thought it was going to. This match was practically, to me, it felt a little one-sided. This one felt way too one-sided. The Dark Order beat the hell. The Best Friends got some offense, but the Dark Order felt like they had just a little bit too much offense in this. The Creepers get involved in the end, taking out Chucky T. Fatality onto Trent Beretta. Grayson heads to the top rope. Fatality 1, 2, 3. The Dark Order win and receive the first round bye in the tournament. They continue to attack. This got interesting. They continue to attack, and you're wondering what's going to happen. They go to take, what was it? They take, I believe it was Chucky T and or Trent Beretta, one of those two. They were going to, have the Creepers take them up in a cross version, like a cross, and pull them and just walk away with them. All of a sudden, the lights go down. What's going on? Who the hell knows what's going on? All of a sudden, the lights come back on, and who would be in the ring but Orange Cassidy? Freshly Squeezed chant in the crowd. So yes, we had Cowboy Shit later on in the show. We had Party Poopers. We had Freshly Squeezed. We had You Sick Fuck. And yeah. But he, with his hands in his pocket, bounced off the ropes and runs and does a suicide dive onto the Creepers. I'm just going to say it now. The best suicide dive you will ever see happened tonight. That was, I think, 1 in a million. Kip up in the crowd is loving it with his Freshly Squeezed chant. The best friends head in the ring and give Cassidy a double hug. He responds, actually takes his hands out of his pockets and does a thumbs up. A weak thumbs up. He goes to each corner and just does a thumbs up and leaves. So he actually took his hands out of his pockets, which was, there you go. So the Dark Order, which you kind of knew they were going to win. You knew they were going to win. This one made all the sense in the world, for the simple fact is the Dark Order are the heels. It's best to have a heel team as you have what they buy. Do I see the Dark Order winning the tag team titles, being the first ever tag team champions? No, I do not. I don't think they would be. I don't think those titles are made for the Dark Order yet. I think they still have ways to go. The crowd died in that match, quite honestly. After having the previous two matches, Jimmy Havoc, you had Pac winning by submission, then you had Jimmy Havoc win a hardcore match, pretty much, a hardcore triple threat match, pretty much. The crowd was a little spent. Wrestling Inc. had somebody at the show, and they were talking, I guess people talking about them, preferred the Dark Order when they were the Super Smash Brothers. The fans I don't think the fans really care that much about the Dark Order. Dark Order just doesn't seem to have what AEW wanted. It just feels like they're not what... It just doesn't... They don't feel like the crowd is really into the Dark Order. I don't know what it is, but the Dark Order is definitely is not a fan favorite. I know, yes, they're heels and everything, but the crowd reaction just died, and it got better in the next match, which was to see who would face off against Nyla Rose on October 2nd. Riho versus Hikaru Shida. Riho is getting the underdog babyface type of treatment when it comes to wrestling in AEW. She won a triple threat match at Fyter Fest for between Britt Baker, herself, and Nyla Rose by pinning Nyla Rose in that shock roll up. When Nyla Rose won the Battle Royal, it was all but assured that Riho was winning this match. She is, I guess, 98 pounds soaking wet. She is a really, really small girl. Small woman, I should say. But Shida, this is pretty much the tale of this match. Shida beat the hell out of Riho for the majority of this match. She dominated Riho for the majority of this match. Riho eventually fires up, gets double knees in the back of the head. Shida rips Riho in the mat and into a backbreaker, which was absolutely ridiculous. I think that should have been the end with Shida winning. Shida lifts Riho up, counter into a pin to Riho ducks a knee strike, spins in around Shida's body, stacks Shida up for the 1, 2, 3, and she wins. This match, in my opinion, on just excitement level, wrestling level, and everything, this was the weakest match of the show, in my opinion. I'd say the second weakest because the Battle Royal was probably the weakest, but this was the singles matches. This was definitely the weakest match of the show. The Dark Order versus the Best Friends was the weakest of the tag team matches. So the three matches I think that were the weakest of the show were the Battle Royal, this match, and the Dark Order versus the Best Friends. It's just, there's really not much else you can say about this. It was Shida beating up and dominating Rio for 95% of the match. Rio getting up and winning the match, and that was that really. There's nothing else you can really say. So that left us with 3 matches. And the next match was very personal, very emotional, and it was Shawn Spears versus Cody Rhodes. With Tully Blanchard, and who would be Cody's first and only. Now, as I mentioned earlier, during MJF's interview, I didn't notice it because he had a scarf on, but he was wearing a black shirt with a yellow top, with like yellow on the top. It was a Star Trek theme shirt. Well, during Cody's entrance, Spears is sitting on a chair, gets up slowly, and makes his way to the ring, dragging the chair alongside him. Tully Blanchard makes his way to the ring. During Spears' entrance, if I am not mistaken, that is Josiah Williams, NXT's own Josiah Williams, rapping his theme to the ring. That's who that sounded like. I could be wrong, but it sounded like Wrestle and Flow, which is done by Josiah Williams. That was the theme they used for Shawn Spears tonight. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounded like. We go to the back, and Brandy Rhodes is dressed as 7 of 9, walking Pharaoh to the ring. DDP joins her, and he's wearing a red Star Trek type shirt with red instead of yellow. They come by, and MJF jumps down from where he was sitting, and they walk. Cody rises up to the stage, and he's wearing one that looks a red Star Trek like shirt without sleeves. He rises up to the stage and heads to the ring with the group and picks up. Now here's the thing. This was kind of dumb for them to do because they brought Pharaoh to the piping. Because AEW, I've got to say this now, it's a little disappointing that when we make fun of WWE, we all trash WWE for using the same set for every single show. And I cannot give AEW a pass on this. They have used the same exact sets for every single show. When we get to TNT, I guarantee you we're going to see the same set. This, I don't care if they're trying to make fun of WWE with this, I don't give a shit. You have a multi-million-dollar backer backing you up. You should be able to at least make the sets look different. Oh, but Double or Nothing had poker chips. Fighter Fest had a kiddie pool. No, I don't give a shit. The sets have looked the same. It is absolutely disappointing that you are using the double entrance way for every single show with the chandelier above. It's kind of old already. This is their 4th show. I know it's the second biggest show, but this is their 4th show, and it's pretty much been the same exact set. Change it up. Plain and simple. Change it up. I don't want us to get to November, which is the next pay-per-view, and, oh, well, it's the same set. It's kind of boring. Like, classic sets back in the day is what made pay-per-views feel special. This is a fucking pay-per-view. This isn't TNT. If this is your set for TNT, why are you using it for Double or Nothing, Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, and All Out? Give me a break. Give me something different. But anyway, they have the double piping, and Cody comes out. Comes up from the thing. He's standing there, and you're seeing Pharaoh, Brandy, Cody, MJF, and DDP, who was in their group, sitting in the piping still, and you're wondering what's going on. Why are they sitting out there? Well, Cody had pyro, and what happens when an animal hears something like that? They want to get the hell away from it. So you could tell when they're trying to bring Pharaoh out, Pharaoh's trying to go the other fucking way. So I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. They could have, probably trying to find a way to, keep Pharaoh out of coming down if you were going to use pyro. It was just, I think, a very poor decision on their end. But anyway, They walk down to the ramp, and Earl Hebner, who of course is the referee for all of Cody's matches, I guess, tells him he can only have one, and he brings out MJF. Oh, Jesus, MJF. Cody gets in the ring. Shawn Spears is out of the ring. And Cody barrels from one side of the ring to the other and just hits him with a suicide dive. This match doesn't even get started yet. They fight around the arena, beating the hell out of each other. More brawling. Cody heads at the crowd some more. We get a fuck him up Cody, fuck him up. Bell finally rings. They go right to the floor. Cody with a spinning power slam to the floor while they fight. Tully sneaks foot in, and he holds Cody's fist back as Shawn Spears hits a little blow. Whereas Earl Hebner, he's dealing with MJF. These two beat the hell out of each other. Of course, MJF, Shawn Spears takes off Cody Rhodes' belt, looks to hit him. Earl Hebner gets in Shawn Spears' face. Shawn Spears pushes Earl Hebner a little bit, not enough to knock him over, but pushes him a couple times. And if you don't know Earl Hebner, he don't take shit from nobody. If you get in his face, you start shoving him, he is going to shove back. He shoves back, he screams, he yells at him, says, "Don't you fucking touch me! Don't you you touch me! I'm the referee!" And he eventually gets he's like, and Shawn Spears is like, "Oh, fine, here, take it." While Earl Hebner is taking that belt away, Tully Blanchard hands Shawn Spears his belt, and he whips Cody twice, one in front of the ref. Cody finally gets up, mad as fuck, tells him, "Come on." Spears smacks Cody in the face, and Cody kicks him right in the face. Cody with a springboard cutter. Both men are down towards the end of this match, and MJF and Tully Blanchard are on the apron. They're chattering, they're jawing at each other, they're saying shit back and forth that you can't hear. Tully Blanchard conveniently has some tape. He tapes his hand up a little bit. They get into the ring eventually. They start choking at each other. Shawn Spears kicks MJF, so he falls out of the ring. Tully goes over and starts kicking the shit out of MJF. He's arguing with Earl Hebner. All of a sudden, the enforcer, Double A, Arn Anderson, walks down the aisle. And you're thinking immediately, what is he doing here? Is he going to attack Cody because it's his buddy Tully Blanchard of the Four Horsemen? These guys are former tag team partners. These guys, if I'm correct, were the Brainbusters in WWF. Right? Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, right? Well, he goes in, hits a spinebuster on Shawn Spears. While that's happening, you can see it in the replay that they show in a certain angle. Tully Blanchard's arguing with Earl Hebner, and as soon as that spinebuster happens, Tully Blanchard just stops what he's doing, and he's like, just look of, oh my god, what the hell just happened? Arn Anderson leaves the ring, walks away. Tully Blanchard just holding his hands up, like, what the fuck just happened? He's like, why? He's like, Arn, what the hell? Spears looks to bring a chair in the ring. Cody kicks the Spears and hits a facebuster. He grabs the chair, but decides not to hit him. Pulls on the and hits the bionic elbow, which was fucking fantastic. Crowd goes crazy on that. Disaster kick. He throws the chair in the Spears' hands. Disaster kick. Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody has pinned Shawn Spears. Post-match, MJF had the chair in his hand and looked at it for a moment like he's going to do something, but tosses it. Him and Cody do the double tap and then hug, and then hypes up the crowd for Cody's victory. Cody then celebrates in the bunch in the ring. Excellent match between these two. The Arn Anderson was one of the best spots was one of the best things of the night. I didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming. If anybody sits there and says, "Oh, I saw that coming, I knew it was going to happen," you're fucking lying. Definitely a spot of the night. But we go from one emotional match to one crazy fucking match. The Escalera de la Muerte. I can't say it right. The Stairway to Death or ladder match. This was not just any normal ladder match. There were ladders, there were fucking tables strewn set up all around ringside. There was just so much between these two teams. Holy shit. I cannot do this match any fucking justice. You had dueling zero Mano or Cero Huevos, no balls. You had dueling. I just can't even. This match was just so fucking fantastic. Both, I think it was Pentagon and Nick or Matt speared the other guy's brother through tables. You had Pentagon hit one of the Young Bucks with a Canadian Destroyer off of a ladder. Just holy shit. You had Phoenix and one of the Young Bucks do splashes through the other two. Just so much going between these two teams. The mask, hold on, who did it? Which one did it? I think it was Nick, right? Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, Matt Jackson and Pentagon on top of the ladder, they're fighting. He takes the mask off of Pentagon. Pentagon, it's a good thing he paints his face pretty much, so when you pull the mask off, you're not going to see exactly what he looks like immediately, but so he has that split second to put his hands in front of his face, and you're still not going to know who that guy looks like. But he gets his hands covered over his face, he's going around, he shoves the ladder over with one hand on his face. So he was able to shove Matt off, he crashes hard through a fucking table. This was fucking brutal. Matt Jackson put two tables up, or one of the Jackson brothers put two tables up during midway through the match. On the outside, you know how it usually goes. Usually when you throw somebody off, they're going to fall through the second one. They never go through both. Matt went through the first one. What happened was, when the ladder went flying to the side, Matt's knees caught the top rope, so he went face first. His face definitely grazed off of that second table, and he went through that table. He was done for the show. Or was it Nick? Hold on. No, it was Matt. Yeah. Pentagon gets his mask back, and he looks to power drive Nick through a ladder. Zero fear on the ladder. Pentagon and Phoenix make the climb to the top of the ladder. They grab the titles, and they win the match. Totally expected that to happen. Not a problem. But then, two masked men come to the ring, and they destroy everybody who's left. They had a Clinton, and I don't know what the other mask was, but you knew who it was. I was thinking they were going to leave this for a surprise possibly for TNT, because the first show we're going to have the Elite versus Jericho and two team partners of his choosing. They take the masks off, and it's Santana and Ortiz, formerly known as LAX, or EYFBO in House of Glory. I'm not going to go into what the actually means, but yes, LAX, Santana, and Ortiz made their AEW debuts. And to anybody still thinking this was going to see CM Punk, go fuck yourself, it's not happening. But holy shit. Do you know what it means to have the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros, and Santana and Ortiz in your tag team division? That's also not counting the fact that we have the Jurassic Express, which, by the way, still love that fucking name. You have the Dark Order, who are definitely a team that they have yet to get over. You have Jack Evans and Angelico. You have Private Party. You have... Oh my, there's like, holy shit. This makes this entire thing unstoppable. These guys have just raised the game. LAX and Lucha Bros have had some of the best tag team matches in the last 2 years. LAX, Young Bucks, I don't know what they've done for tag team wrestling in Hog or anywhere else. I haven't heard anything about them wrestling each other. Doesn't matter. Should be absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. What happens between the Young Bucks, the LAX, whichever they're going to... They didn't say LAX because I think Impact Wrestling actually owns the name LAX. But Santana and Ortiz, wonder what they're going to be called. I don't think they're going to be EYFBO again. I think that's the past. You don't want to go back to that. But holy shit. You have Santana, Ortiz. You have the Young Bucks. You have the Lucha Bros. You have the Dark Order. You have the Best Friends. You have Private Party, Lucha Express. I'm sorry, Jurassic Express, not Lucha Express. Jurassic Express. Any tag team you really want from AAA or any tag team you want from OWE. They have so many fucking options. Outside of NXT and the Undisputed Era and Street Profits and Mustache Mountain, Gallus, The Hunt, and outside of the NXT and NXT UK tag team divisions, WWE's main roster can kiss my ass when it comes to tag team wrestling. The Usos are great when they actually want to be, when they're great. The New Day can go. The Revival, if they would book them fucking right, would be great. But that tag team division has nothing on AEW's. New Japan only really has New Japan's heavyweight division only really has the GOD. I don't know what Impact has, and I don't know what Ring of Honor has, but none of them. Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, and WWE's tag team divisions cannot touch AEW's. Period. And that left us with the main event of the evening, the all AEW Heavyweight Championship match. Holy shit, Adam Hangman Page lived up to his words. He went to House of Glory during, surprisingly to everyone pretty much, and saved the Young Bucks and Private Party from, I believe they're called the Wrecking Crew, and the guy who was running the show, who attacked them. And he promised he was going to walk out at Chicago in the Sears Center on a fucking horse. He walked out onto this match with a cowboy, with a bandana on, with his jacket on, with chaps on, boots, and he was riding a fucking horse. Holy shit, that is badass. That is awesome. This was a pretty good match. This match was back and forth. These guys were crazy. Adam Hangman Page did a discus fist right into Chris Jericho's left eye, busted him wide open. And I thought the Cracker Barrel Clash was going to be a bloody match. Outside of Joey Janela getting a couple tacks in his back, there was actually not much blood. This match, just right there, it wasn't a big cut, but dude, like, he bled for a few minutes. And all in all, hell of a match here, spinning lariats, flat, like, code breakers, buckshot lariats, Chris Jericho kicked out of the dead eye. These guys just back and forth, beating the hell out of each other, wanting to be the AEW champion. This match showed you that this title means everything to these guys. They put everything into this match, but in the end, he goes for Hangman Page goes for another discus elbow. Jericho with the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3. Y2J Chris Jericho is your inaugural AEW Heavyweight Champion. I am not surprised at all. It makes sense from a business standpoint that Chris Jericho wins this championship. He is a heel. You don't want the babyface to go out there and win the championship immediately, especially somebody like a Hangman Page who isn't isn't ready yet. It felt like it was going to be too much. If you gave Hangman Page the title tonight, it would have felt a little too much too soon. Now, before we get out of here, Full Gear, November 9th, Baltimore, Maryland. That is our next pay-per-view for AEW. November 9th. I guarantee you, NXT UK is going to have another takeover in November. Guarantee you. I know we have War Games coming up, I believe the week after that. It would not surprise me. Was this a great show? Was this a fantastic show? This was a good show. This wasn't a perfect show. The women's matches disappointed, in my opinion. The Battle Royal just felt so sloppy, so just, If you're going to do a Battle Royal, just give me the 21, 50, whatever you want to do. Put everybody in the match immediately. Like I said, last year's Battle Royal at All In was fucking awesome. It was fun. It was probably one of the best Battle Royals I have ever seen. This one was not good at all. Just way too much watching, way too much. It was just too much. Too much of bad wrestling and bad everything. Now, a lot of people are going to complain that, Nyla Rose, she's, I already saw, people saying, how disgraceful, a man winning the going for the championship. Guys, she was born a man, she is now a woman. Shut the fuck up about it. This is 2019. This isn't 10, 20, 30, this isn't 20 years ago where that would have been looked down upon. Let it go. The Rio Shida match just was, it was just too. I'm not into the Joshi matches. I'm giving them a chance, and so far I have been absolutely disappointed in most of the Joshi wrestling. The Dark Order versus the Best Friends match was absolutely just it wasn't good at all. It was the weakest tag team match. The weakest singles match, of course, was Shida versus Rio. The world title match was actually pretty good. I'm surprised it went as long as it did. It wasn't. Yes, it went outside a lot, but also, I forgot to mention this. The referee for the main event was Aubrey Edwards. This is history, apparently, because there has never been a main event match on a big pay-per-view for a world championship refed by a female before. And I guarantee you, whatever the main event of Clash of Champions is going to be refed by the female referee. I guarantee you. They think they can do that first? We're going to do it on Clash of Champions, and we'll say we're the first ones to do it. Ha ha ha! I guarantee you. Do not be surprised when we get the Clash of Champions later this month, because it is now 9/1. It is August is out the window. I guarantee you that female referee is going to ref the final match of the night. I don't put it past WWE. No. This show, was it a good launching point into AEW on TNT? Yes. I was just so hope that in 3 weeks or so they would have another event that's free on Bleacher Report. That's just 5 or 6 matches that could whet your appetite a little bit more. They're not probably going to do that, which is a shame. But this show, it was a thumbs up. It wasn't a perfect show. No show is ever going to be perfect. There's always going to be something to happen. I mean, there was a botch in the Kenny Omega and Pac match. I believe they tried to do a reverse Rana at one time and it got fucked up. But, oh wait, no, it wasn't that one. Well, it was fucked up somewhere. There's a couple botches in this show. The SCU Lucha and the Jurassic Express match was pretty fun. The Kenny Omega Pac match was really shocking to see Pac actually go over. The ladder match was just all types of crazy. It was a car crash. It was Brian Alvarez put it best. If you had a dream of, if you went to sleep and had a dream of the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks having a ladder match, that's what you got tonight. Plain and simple. It went just as it should have. And honestly, everyone was talking about how Rey Fenix was injured. He had a leg injury or something. He might have tore his ACL or something. Well, if that motherfucker's injured, then goddamn is he a fucking robot or something. He is not human. That guy went out there and performed like there wasn't a damn thing wrong with him. And again, of course, Chris Jericho winning the World Championship, it made sense because when we go to TNT, the first show is going to be headlined by Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and 2 partners of Chris Jericho's choosing. If you have casual fans flipping through the channel, people who used to watch wrestling back when Chris Jericho was in his prime, or before that when he was in his early 20s, they're flipping through the channel and they see Chris Jericho in the main event as the World Heavyweight Champion. They're going to probably stick around to see that match and go, oh, what is this? What is All Elite Wrestling? I'm even sure probably everyone's heard about All Elite Wrestling, but you never know. Chris Jericho winning gives AEW legitimacy. Him winning was the right call. It was exactly how it should have been. Jimmy Havoc winning the battle, winning that triple threat match. I'm hoping it brings more for these guys. These guys went out there and killed themselves. But and of course, LAX making their debut. What is that going to mean for the tag team title tournament? Will we see LAX in the finals? Will we even see LAX in the tag team tournament? And what will their names be? Because it's not going to be LAX anymore. Maybe it's the Puerto Rican. I don't know. They have the flag of Puerto Rico because they're Puerto Rican. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe while I'm recording this, Santana Ortiz came out on Twitter and gave you a new name. I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. But this was a good show. And honestly, not much else I can say. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at TheFrance. Find me at twitch.tv/TheFrance Club. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Unscripted. Monday for Raw. SmackDown on Tuesday. And, of course, NXT on Wednesday. We are just a month and a day away from AEW on TNT. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. And I'll see you guys later.